Hello, friends of Faith Before Fitness. The next few days are going to be very dear to my heart because I don't know if you know this, but I am a Livestrong at the YMCA coach, which means I am trained to work with cancer survivors that have gone through any stage of their cancer journey. So I found that during our Livestrong programs, which is a 12-week program that we run, it's more than a support group. So we run it for 12 weeks and we meet together, we pray together, we talk, and we create a bond with our group. So that's the first part of it. And then it becomes a personal training program. So then we take our participants through 12 weeks of exercise. Now I've done about 4 of these programs. The last one we had got canceled in the middle of it because of COVID and the gym shut down and all that. But throughout this process, it has really opened my heart even more to cancer survivors from any stage of their journey. So Livestrong at the YMCA opens it up to anybody from a past survivor, an overcomer, all the way through to people that might have lifelong cancer and they're in the process of chemotherapy and they're just struggling to make it through one day at a time. And so we have the whole realm of participants like that. Throughout the years, the people that we have worked with the most are breast cancer survivors. So we are trained to work with people with ports, people with lymphedema, people with just a variety of difficulties that they're facing every day. And it's just so inspiring to me to see that these people make an effort to come to class twice a week and do their workouts, and knowing how difficult their lives are. But they know that the exercise that they're going to do in class makes them feel so much better. So I'm going to teach you a balance exercise today that we do with our clients at Livestrong at the YMCA. Now, I learned so much by going through this program, and if you have not known very much about chemotherapy, you might just think that your friend who has gone through cancer and has beat the cancer got their chemo and they just get to move on. But that's not the case. Chemotherapy makes lifelong problems for a human body. And one of the problems that it affects is balance. So when you've been through chemotherapy or while you're going through chemotherapy, it really is going to mess with your balance. And so balance training is so important. And it's also important, you might not know this, that chemotherapy attacks the bones. And so when your bones get attacked, it causes osteoporosis. So if you weren't already a candidate for osteoporosis, then chemotherapy has added to that. So balance training is so important for people who have osteoporosis, because one of the risk factors for osteoporosis is falling and fracturing a bone that is weak. So these are 2 of the main reasons why balance training is so important for people that are going through their cancer journey and are going through chemotherapy or have finished their chemotherapy. Now, I am not a doctor, I am not a nurse, I don't have any kind of degree in cancer. I was just trained by the Livestrong program at the YMCA. So always consult your doctor before you try any of these exercises that I'm about to give to you. So that would be your number one thing to do. And one of my very, very dear friends, after I started becoming a Livestrong at the YMCA coach, right in the height of COVID, when there was so much to worry about in COVID, was diagnosed with breast cancer. and she has been such an inspiration to so many people throughout her journey. And I asked her today to tell me what her favorite Bible verse was that has helped her through her cancer journey. And this is the one she gave me. I have it memorized and I could just spew it out because it's always been one of my favorite verses. But I always want to read it from the Bible just to make sure that I don't say it wrong at all. It's Isaiah 41:10. It says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Oh, I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And I have seen this over and over and over with my brave survivors that have gone through the Livestrong at the YMCA program, and through my own personal friends who have fought this journey, and they have fought it with Christ as their anchor, and they can say, "I will not fear because you're with me." So with that, I want to start off this balance program. So this balance program uses a stability ball and another ball. So the first one is going to be sitting on the ball, and it's a sitting on the ball rollout. And if you're not comfortable being on a stability ball, you can bring your ball up against a wall. You can have a partner with you, someone that you trust to hold you in place. You can be next to a chair or anything that makes you feel safe on your ball. So just sitting on the ball is going to give you some balance, some instability. But then we're going to add, it says to use a weighted ball or any kind of ball that you have will do. So you're going to put your foot on it, and I'm not going to tell you any amount of reps to do. This is for you. This is your body. You do whatever you are able to do. So normally I'll tell you to do, if we're doing a corrective exercise program, 15 reps. But if you are only able to do 3 at a time, then congratulate yourself for that and be proud and feel strong that you are able to get out there and to do this. So this is one side. You're just going to roll that ball out and in, and whatever you can do to keep your posture the best. I know that if we're sitting on a ball, it can cause our posture to sink like this. So make sure that you're sitting upright. And now I'm switching feet. I just changed angle so that you can see. Keep that posture good. And roll that ball out and in. Roll it out and in. Okay. So that's the first exercise. So like I said, you could do as many as you feel comfortable doing. If you want to do sets of this, you can rest and do another set if you felt comfortable with that. So our next one is going to be balancing on the ball with opposite arm and leg. So this one is going to be a little more tricky. So you're going to, what I found that works best for balance is to use your whole foot. So with this, I would want to put my foot down, press through my heel, kind of clench my toes into the ground, and we're going to raise up one leg and the opposite arm. And then take it down and raise up one leg and the opposite arm. And again, you want to focus on that posture, because I know that ball might be wanting you, make you like this. So think about that core strength and lift up one arm and the opposite leg. Okay. All right, so that's that exercise. This next one, I would recommend in the book, it does not show them holding onto the wall, but I would recommend you holding onto the wall to try this one. So you're going to put your foot on the ball and take it out to the side and bring it back in and out to the side, which from the front, it'll look like this, which is rather tricky. So that's why I recommend holding onto the wall or something that will give you some stability. When we were in the Livestrong class, they were asking us how cancer has personally affected us. And at the time, I had recently gone through melanoma, and it was such a small melanoma that they caught really early on because I've had basal skin cancer like 12 years ago, so I had always gone for yearly checks. So when they found my melanoma, they found it at one of my regular exams. So it was so small, but I still had to get it taken out. I had to get a mini facelift, and it was a big ordeal. Skin grafts, my whole face was numb. It still is kind of numb. But I didn't really consider that cancer as if I would consider one of my friends with lung cancer or breast cancer. But when I was in the class, it dawned on me that I am a cancer survivor, and that had never dawned on me before. Although it was a small scale, it still was cancer, and it still was very stressful to me with everything I had to go through just to get rid of that tiny little mole. So taking your health for granted is just something that's so easy to do. But this next move, we don't need the ball or anything. So if you don't have any of these equipments, this is something that you can do on your own. So we're going to stand on one foot and take your foot out and then take it to the side. So forward and to the side. Now this is another one that you're going to have to be careful with, not rounding your back. So keep your posture up, even if you want to start off just tapping your glutes against the wall and going like this. And then as you get more comfortable, then you can move yourself away from the wall and do this. Now, if your chemotherapy has started to attack your bones and has started to give you osteoporosis, then it's so important to strengthen your hips. So even in regular life, it's so important to strengthen your hips. So this balance exercise is a nice hip strengthening exercise as well. So it's actually working both hips. It's working your standing side as you stabilize, and that hip is getting stronger over here. And as you are abducting, you're strengthening this glute medius, and you're working your core and everything else as you're balancing. So this one is a really nice all-inclusive exercise. All right, so the next one, this one utilizes the ball again. So this one helps you do two things. It will help you do a stretch. So doing a touch your toes stretch is kind of out of style for the time being. I know fitness changes a lot, but we're taught that touching your toes like this and forward folds is not very good, especially if you have osteoporosis. It's not good for your spine. So this is really all you need to do to stretch your hamstrings and to give yourself a good stretch. If you push your hips back, and then this is helping you balance too. So you're working on your balance and stability. It's helping you get a nice stretch in the backs of your legs, but now they're going to want you to abduct. So I'm going to bring one foot in closer in between my hands, and I think that will help stabilize my balance a little better there. So you're going to abduct with one foot, and that could be a very small abduction, because even being in this position might be a lot of balance struggle. It might be hard on your wrist. I know that some of the complaints that I've had from my friends and clients, neuropathy. So you might be struggling with neuropathy. You might be struggling with red burning rashes on your hands. So if it's too much for you to be like this, then you can just stick with that other one where you're going like this. But if you are able to do this, then doing any sort of abduction, even a small one, so I'll try to do it from the front and show you like a really small abduction. It doesn't need to go out way to the side. So that's just something you can work towards depending on how you're feeling. And as many as you're able to do. So then our next one is going to be with the ball. So this one you can do with a ball that's not weighted. It can be a soccer ball or a volleyball or anything like that. So you're just going to practice taking the ball in different angles, like standing on one foot and taking the ball up and down. Practice taking it to the side and down and to the other side and down. You can even practice holding it out straight and taking it from side to side. Now that's if you have a healthy spine. If your spine is compromised, then you might not want to do these side to side. You might want to just keep your spine neutral and work on this one and even this one, because if you're doing a chop, you're still staying at a pretty neutral spine right here. But it's that side to side twisting motion that you might want to ask your doctor first if you have osteoporosis and anything happening to your spine. So these are all the different things you could do with the ball. And then bridging is always one of the best exercises for everything. So you can practice that bridge. This is another one that's going to help strengthen your hips, and it's going to help strengthen your balance. So adding the balance aspect to this bridge, you would normally just do a regular bridge like this, which is good in itself because you are strengthening your glutes and your core. But then to add that balance aspect, we'll bring our hands up like this. And this one's not going to be a stretching video. There will be one, but you can bring your hands back and up, and you can bring them out to the side if you wanted to add some stretching and cognitive movements here. All right, and I'm a little close to the wall to get to that side. All right, so this was video 1. This was balance. So there will be about 4 more videos that I'm going to make from the Livestrong at the YMCA material. So if you are in any stage of your cancer journey and you want to join a Livestrong at the YMCA program, look into it. Every YMCA, no matter where you live, should have one. And our class at the Pooler at the West Chatham YMCA should be happening pretty soon. So if you are interested, give us a call and we'll see about getting you into our next program. So this is day 69, I think, of our 100-day corrective exercise and scripture reading challenge. So I will see you tomorrow for day 70. See you then. Bye-bye.